before we get into the design, all right, which we'll be doing now, and there are two phases to that. We should always know who the identity is. Like tomorrow's session, we are actually going to break this down further into different identity types. But we should always understand that when we deal in IAM, and most of you would have already been working and dealing with IAM, never assume that IAM or identity means employee. Many times we do that, especially in meetings. And here I'm actually going to also tell you how you can overcome that. So whenever you are in a meeting and they are discussing about identity for new hires, even if it is a common topic that you have read and understood multiple times, still ask the question, who is the identity in place? Are they going to be the same new user, or they are contractors, or they are partners? And ask them to define the persona. Where are they coming from? How do they log in? What level of access do they have? So coming back to that, the second question is, what do they need to access? Is it application, API, data? Because this understanding of this will help you create the right IGA system. Understanding of this will be able to, you'll be able to configure the right IGA and access management system. This, when you know that there are set of applications that they would access. Now ask, how do they authenticate? Because if it is contractor, or let's say some partner and vendor, can you put the same authentication? Let's say in your organization, you are using a YubiKey and mm, um, maybe a Okta Verify application. Okay. This is for employees. And this is your partner. Partner is from a different company. Can you use the same two things? If yes, why? If no, why? Can I assume that, okay, let's just use YubiKey and Okta?
Probably few of the things probably we can go ahead and use, but not everything because we can't go
Okay,
ahead and
between YubiKey and Okta,
yeah.
if I'm using this for employee, let's be very specific. If I'm in a meeting where I'm asking all of this question, and the currently employees are using YubiKey and Okta, okay, for law, their MFA. Can I propose the same thing for the partners? If yes,
No, we
why?
can't do that.
Yes, please go ahead.
Prob- we can't go ahead and give the UV keys or something like that to a third party because probably, I mean, simple free kind of authenticator tool kind of things probably we can, but UV keys it is managing is very tough actually. That's my understanding.
Okay, so from a management perspective, you would refrain from providing YubiKeys. That is number one reason. Any other reason? Sorry, what is your name? I've just seen DP.
Durga,
Durga, right? Okay, okay. Thank
yeah.
you, Durga. Yes,
Sometimes the cost are involved there.
yes. So management of the keys, cost. Good point, Gaurav. Next, any
The
other point?
user experience or the UI will be more tough for the because you need how they can understand the process. So that's very tough for the external users for UPK.
But YubiKey doesn't have any UI, right? You simply get a key.
You
But
need to add the security keys and scan your fingers and all, right? So
I mean, you can use a YubiKey without biometrics also. Just a touch
yes, it's
work.
as a passkey then it's a passkey, right? So
Like
Ah.
maintenance will become tough, right? So if key is lost, you need to
Okay, I'll just add one thing,
reissue.
Naresh. So YubiKey itself also has a non-biometric version, Naresh. Okay, so you don't specifically have to have a passkey. In YubiKey also, when they started earlier, right? They started with a non-biometric version where you just have to touch. And it was not a biometric touch, just a touch used to add those like alphanumeric character for you to authenticate. Just trying to clarify that part. Yes, Aradhya, you want to add anything?
Yeah, I think they can be given, but it depends on what data that they'll be accessing, what applications, and to up to what level, maybe.
Yes. So See, there is no blanket yes or a no. Okay.
Yeah.
And all of these points has to be evaluated. Now, I think for people who are uh, new to maybe these discussions, I hope everyone is getting the idea, right? Like there is no simple yes or no in anything. And when we start asking questions, and all of these are very good points, that first is management. What if they lose them? How do we ship them? Second, if there are like 40 of them or 20 of them in the partner, and coming back to Aradhya's point, if they are accessing sensitive application, then I may put the pros and cons and then think that, okay, I should be able to give it to them. But if they are not accessing sensitive application, if the number is high, okay, that increases my cost. Then I may not go ahead with YubiKey. Okay. Then I may again evaluate the cost, the management of that whole thing. And from a management, I will also understand the device, if they have the compatible device to use them. Okay. And sometimes the user acceptance policies, company policies. For example, a partner may not be allowed to carry such devices, which is given by vendor. Maybe within the organization, there are a lot of data center restrictions. All right. So all of these factors we are going to consider. And I'll tell you why are we discussing all of this? Because when we go through our use cases, maybe on the last demo you would have seen, from two-liner we went to a 30-40 minutes discussion. And that's exactly what happens in each meeting. And that's the actual core that we are trying to learn here. Not to assume anything. Every discussion that you go, you should be asking the right set of questions, finally coming up with the pros and cons, and then designing the entire flow. Okay, so just keep that in mind, like this should be default. Now, when and where is the access allowed? Time, location, device, risk scoring, context aware, and how do we prove it? Because eventually, even if I have the best system, I have to show it to the auditors. So is there logs that you are capturing? How are you doing the reviews, certification campaigns, reporting? So if you are able to address all this, again, for most of the basic to mid-level use cases, you have covered a lot of things here.